Hello, Mark.
Well, hello, Drew. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Thank you for coming to my home.
Yes, we're at your home once again.
Yes.
It's been a while. And I was thinking about this just the other day. Even though we see each other every day at work, I feel like it has been a while since we've had a genuine sit-down discussion.
Yeah,
so I'm quite excited to...
Yeah, I mean, I think at
talk.
work we just get...
We're at work.
We'll have days where we don't really speak.
No, absolutely
beyond
not.
a quick couple of words.
Mm.
We're on, you're in the engineering hell.
Wow, okay.
Well, that's where you are, isn't it?
I suppose it is.
That mess that you guys have left.
Anyway, yes. So it's been a couple weeks because of our lovely D&D, our one-shot D&D. So
Rutherford!
Yes. Oh god, it was so depressing at the end, but it was good.
It was good, but I felt this. Yeah, I didn't say about this, but the walk home or walk back to my car, I was just like, I can't believe I just went through all that.
You do get kind of this weird emotional whiplash, don't you? It's quite bizarre.
It's suddenly back into reality of
just that you're going to go back to your
just
house.
Just go back to my normal life.
It's so bizarre. Yes. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. But so it has been a couple of weeks since we last saw each other, and we haven't had a good conversation. So, I mean, what have you been up to, Mark? What has been on Mark's plate over the last several weeks?
Across the last... I mean, that's the thing. I've been trying to rack my brain what I've been doing. But I think, to be honest, I've mostly been binge-watching a lot of reality junk TV. I talked to you about previously about that... what was that show called?
Was it Destination
X?
Yeah.
And then we've just got into celebrity...
Celebrity Traitors.
Celebrity Traitors.
I really want... The thing is, can we leave that for another week? Because I really want to watch...
I'm not going to open
everyone in my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes, this happens very rarely nowadays, I find. But sometimes a show comes round and everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
And Celebrity Traitors seem to be a show that everyone is talking about, so I simply must watch it.
You want to get through it as quick as you can
because I just don't. Oh no, it's on the BBC. They've got at the moment. I don't know if it's on the BBC website, but they've got at the bottom kind of like personality pieces, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a lot about it there, and I'm like, no, just trying to avoid that.
Don't make it easy to hide from these things anymore.
No, they don't.
But yeah, what was the other one? Yeah, it's Bake Off. It's nearly finished. What was the other one?
I watched a bit of Bake Off this year. I think it's fine. I think it's, from what I've seen, it's another season. It doesn't feel special, but sometimes those are the best seasons when nothing special happens.
They've messed up. They've played with the format a little bit. There's been a couple of what's the technical challenge where they were given a whole range of ingredients, but they weren't told what the ingredients were. So they're
trying out some new themes.
Yeah. So the contestants could make their own flavour of whatever. I can't remember what it was, to be honest now. And they were given so many different flavours, but that meant they had to rein in. They didn't want to overdo it and stuff. And that was something different. But again, you can't mess with the format too much. It's not. The whole point is
it's so iconic. And actually, in America, it's so iconic as like the like quaint British show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, as always, I've been enjoying it. I mean, I tend to watch the three, the core ones in my mind. The Sewing Bee. Sewing Bee is great.
Yeah. I think it's gone downhill a bit, but like during its heyday, what a phenomenal show.
Yes. I think it. No disrespect to her, because I think she's Sarah Pascal.
Yeah.
She wasn't suited for it.
No, she's not suited for it.
Here's her last one. There's somebody else coming.
Good. Because I think they did 3 or 4 series in a row where they had a different person, the comedy host each season, and I think some of the early ones are better. Yeah. And then, I've not liked Sarah Pascal. She hasn't really engaged. Every time I've watched it, it's too cringy. Almost,
her humour's so forced, it hurts a little bit.
She's good at stand-up comedy. She's not good at the light-hearted
it's
chat
with her.
Presenting. That's the word, yeah. She's not very good at that presenting aspect. But the show it's always interesting. It's always good. It's that same vibe of the Bake Off where it's like really wholesome, actually, and everyone's friend, and everyone's sad to see someone leave.
It
doesn't work in America, this stuff, because they all fucking hate each other.
Well, it becomes a bit more aggressive as well.
It's a competition. It's super competition. It's just like, let's all just have fun, guys.
It's weird, even when we've seen a couple of celebrity bake-offs, when they have an American celebrity, they're a little bit more I'm going to do this kind of thing.
I'm going to win. Yeah, and it's just like that's not the vibe.
And the third one, of course, is the Great British Pottery
Throwdown.
Is it
Pottery Throwdown? Yeah, that's what it's called.
Which is one of my favourites of the ones because most creative, I think.
Yes,
you get a lot of things.
The presenter always cries as well. I enjoy that.
Keith.
Have you seen? He has as a side, he has a show where he's doing up a
Welsh
cathedral, chapel.
Church. No,
yes, and it is
brilliant.
Oh, it looks fantastic. I've watched a few episodes.
Yeah.
It's really good, and he really loves his wife. And it's
he gets into the crying again.
You get a lot of crying.
I respect that man for being able to cry on cue.
I think he's an emotional guy, and I resonate with that.
Nice. It's nice to have somebody that's...
It's a good male role model, because he's just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's just really in touch with his emotions, and that's, good on him.
Yeah. And I bring up these three because I imagine... I want it to happen. It is the trifecta.
Mm.
Somebody one day must be able to do all three.
Oh, do you think they're going to be on all three?
Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Come on. There's not enough times when you've been watching a bake-off and somebody mentions, I'll make my own dresses as well. In fact, I think in this one there was somebody that was I think she was a wedding planner and she made her own dresses and stuff, as well as baking. And it'd be like, oh my God, she could be the first one.
She could go on all of them.
Yeah.
Do some pottery on the side.
I mean,
maybe have a triathlon where you've got to do each, like there's 10 contestants and they do each show.
I mean, it's possible because there's three segments.
The hobby hoedown.
You have three hobbies each episode, and you've got to do the best you can at one of each.
They all do three. You're right. They all do three tasks.
Yeah.
They do a baking, a sewing, then a. No. They got to do the pottery first.
Yeah.
To then present their food in their pottery
whilst wearing an outfit that they will make themselves.
Yes.
The Great British Baking Pottery.
The Great British Craft. I don't know. Craft doesn't really do baking, does it?
There's a new one that's been advertised, which is about knitting.
Oh, knitting.
And I don't know how that works.
I think that.
Are you there for several hours?
I was thinking that because it's not a short-term thing. Oh, I've missed one.
I'm nearly done. Oh, I've dropped a stitch. I'm going to have to go back and do it again.
They'll try and make that dramatic. It's like hour 3 and she's dropped a stitch. And you're like running around panicking. What's happened? Oh, no.
I'm just going to go. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to ignore the stitch. So, yeah. So...
I'm here for the show.
You're here for the show.
We need to start doing pitches where Flash God the musical.
Yeah.
And then the great British Triathlon. But it's not what people think. We don't actually. We just put the Great British Triathlon everywhere, and we never explain what that actually is. And we're like on BBC at this hour. We never explain anything about it, and then people just tune in. They're like, "What is going on?" And we have all the presenters. We have Noel Fielding. We have Alice. We have.
What's the short woman from Sewing Bee? Oh God!
I know who you mean.
Yeah,
she's a really famous icon for.
She's an icon, fashionista.
Oh, I've forgotten her name, but I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
When she was younger, she looked very like she was like a model, I think.
Yeah.
And she did a lot of the model stuff. Mm.
Yeah, I love it when she just has a little aside to her. Oh yeah, I knew him.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I bet you do. So yeah, it's been a lot of reality TV, which gets a bit tiring after a while.
I'm sure.
So you need to balance it out with something. It's not like there's a lot of comedy on nowadays.
Well, come on, Mark. The point of this podcast, Mark, to some extent, was to broaden one's horizons, to challenge us.
Well, I went on comfort food for outside of that.
That's fair enough. I remember the guy who does the BBC reviews for movies.
Mark Commode.
No, that's another guy. He goes on the radio. He goes on like the radio shows and does the. What
does Mark Commode do then?
I don't know. But this guy, so he always talks
Barry
about
Norman. That's a reference.
It's very old. I understand it. My brain just flashed old in my head as soon as you said that.
Your vision went all grey.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
it was. He describes things like the Fast and Furious films as like fast food films. Like, they're unhealthy-ish, but that you still want to watch them because they're cheesy and corny and whatever, and you get something out of it. I think reality shows like that, you need every now and again to have some, just like,
and especially with something like The Traitors, without going into it, there's a lot of fun to be had with that, especially with this. I think the celebrity factor is, and especially because they're such good celebrities as well, is added another dimension to it. It really, normally a celebrity version of something will uplift the format a little bit because you know the personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
Unless it's a load of people from Hollyoaks and
like all the kind of Strictly kind of get some kind of B class and C class people, doesn't it? Strictly.
But yeah. It's something, definitely something. But I needed palate cleanser. I needed something else. I wanted more comedy, and that's not something I'm getting. So I went. I'm a bit behind on watching Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay.
So I finally got round to sitting and watching season 7.
Okay.
So this is the first season that
Morty.
Justin,
the
creator, he's not voicing it anymore. And to be honest, I didn't really notice.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen that season. I don't think I super noticed as well. I think I noticed like for the first scene where he turns up, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a lot less burping, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really liked was the writing felt the same. It didn't, I suppose it's that American format where it's a writing's room. There's a lot of different people throwing lots of different ideas, and that's one thing that Rick and Morty's always had is lots of crazy ideas. And I like the stuff that really I always liked more in it is when you think it's going in a certain direction and it's thrown away. There's a concept and you think, oh my god, this is going to be brilliant. Oh no, that's a one-line joke and it's gone, and you're moving on to something so unexpected. And there were a few that I really enjoyed. The one called That's a Morte. Have you seen it?
I think I have seen it. I'm pretty sure.
There's one That's a Morte, and it's the scenario is that Rick is feeding the family spaghetti every week.
Yeah.
And it's the best spaghetti in the world, and he's just dishing it out, and they're eating it like it's nothing else. And of course, he kind of reveals to Morty where it comes from, which is from a planet where when people commit suicide, their internal organs turn to spaghetti meatballs, and their intestines turn into spaghetti, and the rest of their stuff into meatballs. And it's like, it's so dark, but at the same time done in a way that's like
you can make dark things light-hearted.
Yeah,
it's very easy to do that. Well, not easy, but it's very like.
But it's the way they turn it into this idea of like trying to. It's almost like they sat there and gone, okay, that's a great idea. Well, how would that work? What would that work in that world? And they investigate it by having a situation arise, which is the planet needs to have the income that comes from this spaghetti being sold to the rest of the world. The exports,
yeah,
the export of it, and Morty's guilt of the fact that he's eaten this stuff ends up to destroying their economy. So they try and figure out other ways that they could do it, and it's so clever. And then when they want to wrap it up and they want to end this trade, the fact that Rick, basically finds this guy who's going to die to kill himself, but just before he does that, he has a memory vision of his whole lifespan. So everybody that's watching it feels immense guilt and can no longer consume the spaghetti that's been produced by him dying.
Yeah,
and it's just like. I sat at the end of that and I was thinking, this is incredibly poignant. There's so much pathos over this concept. You're feeling sad watching this guy. Even in this guy's life, the way they host that. Few minutes of watching his life happen. It's he basically designs this alien world's version of Lego in the end, but from a failed architectural background, and it's really
they're very good at actually. There's a few episodes where they're very good at very quickly giving you a lot of information about a character because they've got to you see them in one episode, so you've got to get all that information about that character. They do it really well actually a few times.
And then the fact that whole emotional journey has been used then as the crutch of how to put people off eating this stuff. And then you're just having everybody vomiting everywhere. It's going from beautiful stories to suddenly vomiting everywhere. It's good
stuff. Yeah.
The other one was Wet Quate, a Mortician Summer, but it's basically the one where Morty ends up being the Quato on his sister's chest.
Oh, I don't think I've seen all this stuff.
Yeah, it's from Total Recall. Have you ever watched that film?
Total Recall. Oh,
yeah,
God,
basically,
I think so.
There's mutants on Mars, and at one point, the main character, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, meets the mutant leader, and he thinks it's this bloke, but the bloke opens his shirt up, and there's this mutant head and arms on there. And so they riff on this whole idea that there's a whole cult of people with this...
With the, like,
Quato
mutant thing in there. Yeah.
Thing. And it's really funny. Then the last one, which the end of season one, was one called Fear No Mort. And the whole concept is Rick and Morty come across this fear hole. And it's basically this hole in a toilet in a Denny's restaurant.
Yeah.
That if you go into, it challenges you to your worst fears.
Okay.
And if you conquer that fear, you come out. And so I won't go into it too much if you haven't seen it.
I thought I had. I clearly haven't.
But there's a part of it where Morty's trying to get out of it, which is
existentialism?
Existential. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful language there. I'm up there with Trump in my word garbage. Existential. Existential dread.
Yes.
This concept that he's trying to get out of something, and every time he gets out of it, he still realizes he's in the thing that he wants to get out of, and it just keeps going round.
Yeah, loop. Yeah.
It's obviously the writers' room. They're exploring this idea, and they're trying to get as many gags out of it as possible, but at the same time exploring this
quite dark ideas.
Dark ideas, and. Yeah, if I'd watched that at late night,
would you not obviously be sleeping kind of thing?
But if I'd switched off the TV at that point, I was on my own in the room, I think I would have been going through that idea in my head and, not sleeping for a few hours.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Drew?
Goodness me. Well, I've done a lot. I've got a lot to talk about, amazingly, to be honest. So, firstly... this is my favourite time of year. I think it's
autumn.
Autumn, yeah. Love autumn.
Or October.
I think a bit of both. I think from September's my favourite month, and I think moving...
Is it because it's my birthday?
Sure.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
It's not that. It's a good time of year. I like the season change, and I think going into Christmas, I like that whole kind of transition. I like it getting dark, I like it getting a bit cozier. Just clearly also, my life partner also definitely vibes with that or resonates with that idea of it getting darker. She started playing video games again under like a blanket and it's like home bliss. So I feel like I'm at my most active, weirdly.
Wow.
I'm not a summer guy. Like, this is really my time of year. So I've been watching a lot of autumnal stuff. And the first thing I want to talk about is Over the Garden Wall, which is a Cartoon Network. It's a 10 episode, they only did one season. It's a 10-episode cartoon, and it's got very autumnal vibes. It's got kind of, I think, Southern American kind of, a lot of the kind of witch trials kind of vibe, but it's not actually. It's all very cartoony.
In that time period?
No. It's set in modern day. Weirdly, it doesn't seem like it, but it is.
I didn't catch that. Yeah, because you showed me a picture. Or some pictures of it, and it. I didn't get the time.
It's really quirky. So the actual show itself is really, really quirky, but it's not quirky enough that you're like, I'm lost. It's just enough, and there's enough coherency in storylines, and enough that you can just about get on board with the ideas.
Yeah,
that you're just there, and it's every episode. It's the classic, like every episode's its own little thing, and then all together they make up a bigger story or bigger picture.
Is it that kind of thing where you don't realise it's building it up until
No,
something?
there are maybe a bit. I think you don't realise what's significant until later on. I think that's really good. How they do this kind of like the little things you don't even think about, and then you're like, oh yeah, they said that, and oh yeah. And that's always what's really good in the show is when you're like, oh, of course, because they
when it
all comes together.
It's one of those things when it makes good television is when there's a reveal that you remember and aware of, and it makes sense when it's brought to finish off.
At the end, in the conclusion.
If it feels forced, you're instantly just going, nope.
There's a lot of hints early on about the show's kind of themes, and it talks about some pretty strong themes towards the end. But I think it's quite childish, but in a really lovely way. And it doesn't feel like, sometimes you get on Cartoon Network, I don't watch it much anymore, but when I was a kid, a lot of like slop. Like, we know we talk about AI slop now, but there was a lot of human slop back in the day. Or like stuff that like you watch as an adult and you're like, what even was that? But I think this show's really good.
Name some, just out of interest.
I think things like Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
That's just trying to be shocking, wasn't it?
I think it was just weird. I keep thinking back to it, weird. And then, is it something the Cowardly Dog? Courage the Cowardly Dog. Mandy and something in the Grim Reaper. This really tells you the era I was watching Cartoon Network.
I'm starting to get a position of where you're at. I mean,
there's some good ones in there, like Spy Kids and Shaolin Showdown, and there's some good ones in there. But like, there's a lot. Is that
off the TV series Spy Kids? Is that?
No, it's Spy Kids Next Door.
Yes.
You have like 0 and 2, and that was a really good show. Actually,
I thought Cowardly Dog was Courage the Cowardly Dog was considered.
It might have been, but like I remember watching as a kid and being like, "What even is this?" I think it's too far gone, or like it was too whoa. Maybe for me. But anyway, Over the Garden Wall, I really recommend it, especially as an autumnal thing. Maybe something to watch with the kids because it's one of those shows that kids would. That is very rare that I think you'll enjoy it and the kids will enjoy it because it needs to work on 2 levels or is enough mature content that you understand it and you get something out of it. But enough that the kids can also understand it.
I'll tell you one that I wanted to watch more than the kids, I think, when they were at that age, was Adventure Time.
Adventure Time, that's got big story to it.
I thought there was a lot in that.
I need to watch it all.
It was like things were aimed directly at me,
They say that with Bluey. They say a lot of things in Bluey are but they're like over the kids' heads. As the adult, you see it.
Definitely. And especially as a parent, it's stuff that's like... There's a lot of references to the parents being tired of a game or a situation where they're because could you just go and do that in the other room now, kind of thing. And it's just it hits for a parent really well because you're like you
feel related to, you feel seen.
You feel the creators are on your side to a certain extent. That perhaps these kids are just full of energy and you need a break from it all.
No. So I think it's a really good show. I think there's a few shows, and I think actually one day we'll talk about it. But another show it's so legendary at this point, which is Avatar: Aang: The Last Airbender. It's such a legendary show, and I actually wanted to come on and talk, and we'll do this another day. But we'll talk about how I think that show has arguably the best character development in it. Of like, I don't think I've seen character development anywhere near as good as in that. But they do so much, and I think in their kids and they grow up, and you get so much in that kind of that format. And I think I know you haven't watched it.
I tried to watch the first episode.
You've got to go for a little bit.
Another podcast I listen to, Mr. Sunday Movies, and he bangs on about it. And I thought, okay, I've got to give this a try. Gosh, there was the film that looked awful.
No, I don't look at the films.
There was a live action.
There's been 2 live action stuff, and I don't think any of them are good. They're trying to recreate realism. Really, just popped off. Fantastic.
It just felt. It might be that it's just the first episode, and I need to get more into it.
I think really at the end of season 1, you need to get through season 1. It's not even getting through. You need to watch season 1 to really get like hooked. It's good, then you get hooked.
It felt like it was. It seems unfair because I watch a lot of cartoons which are aimed at kids, but it felt a little bit juvenile the first.
I think it does a little bit at the first. I think when you hit things like Ba Sing Se, which is like a place, and then you start going to things like the Fire Nation, it almost like grows up with you. The maturity level ramps real hard towards the end. And actually, there's some real strong themes.
But that's the thing. I've seen clips and I've seen other bits and pieces that I've half seen, and I've gone, that looks really cool. That looks like an interesting
so good.
thing.
It's
but
so good.
It didn't feel.
You've got to commit the hours, but I think that's what makes it even more special. I think there's so many things, and you can watch a video essay on why it's just amazing. But I think one of the things that makes it so great is just the commitment of time, because you're with these characters for like so long, right?
Yeah.
And you get so invested with it, and you learn so much about them, and you go through that whole journey. And so I think just that time commitment adds so much in its own respect. So I've done that. So going back to it, Over the Garden Wall. I think also it's that time of year, so I'm listening a lot more to, as we spoke, Laufey, but there's a few other. So I'm sure you've heard some Olivia Dean's been on the radio recently.
No.
You would have heard some Olivia Dean.
Oh, I'm just not.
And then Ray Corey, I think, as well. Two female singers.
Is she? Does she have a name just singularly? Ray.
No, it's just Ray Corey. I think it's Ray Corey. I'll double check that.
I just saw something on Graham Norton. There's an artist on there called Ray. I thought her name was Ray.
Ray is different to Ray. I know who Ray is, but it's not the person.
It's not okay.
Let's see. I've just got my YouTube music open so I can see if I've got. I don't want to play. Stop it from playing. Oh, Ray Crooker. Roy Crooker, yeah, sorry. But yes, so it's the autumnal vibes. It's really good. Now, what else have I done? I've played some board games. I played quite a few board games, actually. Not just the big one. So I played
just the one that you won.
Not just the big one. I played a game of Twilight Imperium. I won. Absolute baller. I got to my friend's house at 11 a.m. roughly. And we finished at 11 p.m. So it really is 12 hours. And there's food in there. There's, you have breaks and stuff. It's not just don't get me wrong, you're doing a lot of focusing and a lot of thinking, but it's not all, 12 hours of a day. Anyway, so that was really good. So Twilight Imperium is you need like a table, like, I don't know, 6 foot by 4 foot. You need like a wargaming table almost to play it. You have a central universe. You have a home planet. And you go out with your spaceships and you conquer planets and you do missions and you have space battles. And you then create a diplomatic, you're like a council, universe council, and you vote on like new rules to add to the game. It's got so many mechanics. There's so much going on.
Even if you're at war with somebody else, if it's the
you have to play
diplomats.
You'll vote on things, and you can actually do things like some of the most impactful things are they're voting on like new, what they call agendas. They're laws, and they're just new rules that come into the game. Some of the most impactful things. I remember one game we played where it was like you half the army size of everyone, and people who've been building up massive armies just had their like just all wiped, and me who had like no army, like nothing really happened. Like
but the thing is, if you're halving your army and everybody's being halved, you're still
but if I'm on like one battleship and they've got like 20,000 crew, like
but if they're halving that, they've still got more than you. You've got half a battleship. It's not very useful.
It's not very useful, but it's really good. The agenda's really good. It's edition version 4.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest game you can really get away with without getting into some things called mega games, which are just way too much for me. They're like weekend games more than weekday games. But it's really good. It's really well designed. It's on the edge. I think what makes it amazing is it's on the edge of what you can keep in your head without, you know what I mean? Like there's enough stuff that it's all you've got to keep it on your head, but anything more
becomes real life.
Yeah, you just can't keep it on your head.
Because there's an element where you're like having to then start getting out Excel sheets.
Yeah, you had to get spreadsheets out and then like, oh my gosh. We'll talk about spreadsheets in a bit.
An assistant just to be able to play this game.
And actually it comes onto a point. So there's a video game called Stellaris, which is kind of like
I've come across that one. Yeah.
So it's kind of like an equivalent video game, essentially.
I quite enjoyed that then.
I can't get into Stellaris. I've tried it 3 or 4 times, and the reason is because there's like 1,000 numbers that you just can't see, or you can see them, but you've got to click through about 10 menus, and there's like 20 different your science is going up and your population is going up, but then your population rate's going up and your pollution levels are going down, and like it's almost and this is, I don't think this is just Stellaris, it's all gaming, so especially strategic ones like Civ as well.
It becomes too much to be able to keep hold of all this. It's my best memory of playing SimCity was the first edition of it. I had it on my Atari ST, and there was enough complication, there was enough menus and stuff, but not too many. It was the right amount in my mind, and there was only certain things you had to think of. You had to look at pollution that you created, you had to look at crime, you had to look at fires, and probably another one, taxation, I think it was. But it didn't get much more than that. And I've seen it now where you versions of SimCity where you're dealing with plumbing underneath the ground.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a plumbing system that you've designed and built underneath the city you've got. And I'm thinking, in a real world city, you don't manage that much stuff.
Well, like it's one person.
It's one person, yeah. And it's just like, how are you supposed to, maybe there are ways of automating the sewerage system, so you don't have to worry about it in the same way as you do designing the beautiful city above it.
I think these get, and I agree with that. I think there's too much for your head, and I find that personally, I'm not a control guy. I'm not like I must know everything all at once. But there's something about trying to learn a game, especially tutorial. I spent like an hour on the tutorial for this Dolores, and hardcore players would be like, "Well, you need to spend 5 hours on the tutorial," and I'm like, I just can't. I can't.
5 hours is more gaming than I've had in the last 2 months. So that's the thing that puts me off starting a new game nowadays, is that I might have an hour to sit down.
We've talked about this. I think we've talked about the format of the 5 hour short and sweet game.
Yeah.
I think because even if you've only got 5 hours in 2 months, you can complete the game.
Yeah.
If I played 5 hours of like Red Dead 2 or GTA or I don't know, Skyrim, going even that far back, you get nothing.
At that point,
yeah, right. You get nothing. Baldur's Gate maybe is an exception that I'd give because that's a great game. But even if you played 5 hours of Baldur's Gate, you'd barely be out of the starting area.
Yeah,
barely. So I think there is a format for short and sweet games. I don't know what it looks like, but it's definitely there.
But the thing is, the only alternative, what seems to be the only alternative, is playing either mobile games, or playing games that are retro.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it's like, where's the middle ground where it's like, I want a half-decent story, I want something that's engaging. What I want to do is go back and play Call of Duty Call of Duty 2, not Modern Warfare, the original Call of Duty.
Even Modern Warfare, even the first Modern Warfare, I don't think there's more than 10 hours of campaign, probably at all.
But the thing is, you can pick it up and you can play a certain amount of a level in an hour. And then you can put it down, and the next time you come back to it, it's not so overwhelming that you can't just pick it up and go again.
Yes. Yeah, totally this. Yeah. I think this is why I resonate a lot with the Halo games. Because I think pretty much all the Halo games, I haven't played any of the newer ones, but they're all like, you're at point A, you must kill everything to get to point B.
Yeah.
And like, you can't go wrong with that, right? Yeah. You can't go wrong with, you've got to get there.
And because of the way that the enemies were balanced and changed as well. You had different types of bad guys that had different strategies you had to use to defeat them. And if you've got, several elites jumping around, but you've got some jackals nearby, you've got to take those jackals out before you engage with the elites.
There's still. I think that's the point we're trying to make. Is that you can have complexity in your 5 hour game, but I think people have got this mindset that you must have, and people love them. I'm sure people have all the time in the world fucking love having a game that they can sink 600 hours into. And actually, my friends who play Dune, I don't know how they've got the time. I don't know how they've got the time, but they have sunk 300, 400 hours. One of them has Fridays off. That's why he can fucking do it. But you can sink all that time in, and I'm sure it's amazing if you feel like you have nothing else to do in life. But I annoyingly have other stuff to do in life.
And
But going back to board games, talking about having. I had 12 hours of board game. It's once in a blue moon.
I can see how that's more likely to happen than playing a
it's a day to see the lads, right? Rather than going off drinking down the pub, whatever, we're playing a board game. I'd much rather do that every time.
You've said to your friends, are you free this Saturday? I can't do that Saturday. I'll do the Saturday after. I can't do that one. I've got the dentist.
And we were talking about, actually, my friend, after the game, we're like, we should play this every month. And I'd love that, but are we fuck?
Yeah, you're not dedicating that much time.
You just can't. Or even like every other month. It's a lot of time. When we were 22, probably kid, and somehow, I don't know what's happened in the last 5 years, somehow responsibility is just exploded. But anyway, so go back to Twilight Imperium, as I've been trying to. It's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I did win by some just razor thin luck almost in strategy, and I had to sit. I knew probably an hour before we finished that I had I didn't know I'd won, but I had the path to victory.
Yeah,
I knew what it was, and I needed another player to be on board, and I literally went into the other room with them, and I was like, "Are you gonna help me do this?" And they're like, "Fuck it, yeah, sure, why not?" And and the big bad guy who had his big army was coming for me. He was on the other side of the universe, and he was slowly making his way across to me. And there's like one turn left. I had to basically execute my plan to stop him destroying me.
But how did you stop him without a big army?
So what I did, so the whole point is you can't attack and move, basically is the idea. So I'd put a flagship by sheer coincidence right on top of the wormhole, right next to my base. So he moved his whole army there and was going to move it one more, but he couldn't because the flagship was there. So he had to kill that before he could then next turn move. But because I had stopped him, I could then take my turn and win. It was such a knife edge, but I had that victory path lined up for like an hour or something, and I had to just sit there poker face like, no, that, in a couple turns time that's going to really pay off for you, and just sit there stone cold, not being like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to fucking win. But it's a great game. I really enjoyed it. I also played some other board games. I played a game called Cryptic or Twisted Cryptics, which Jess got on. She got on like a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And visually it's a really nice game. It's about hikers seeing cryptids, which mythical creatures like Mothman or Loch Ness or Chupacabra, all this stuff. And it's like a really fun, quirky game. My thing was, and I think this is sometimes can be the issue, is the people I was playing with aren't board gamey people. And we said we go, because it was like to break the ice, they're new to town. And we're like, why don't we have a board game? And we played some other social board games. We played a game like Cards Against Humanity, which, like I've said before, runs out very quickly. So we played a bit of that as like a icebreaker, and then we tried playing this actual board game, and like it just felt like it fell so flat, which is so sad because with a group of other people, there's like a middle ground. I haven't found it. There's the hardcore gamers, which are like me and the lads, and we'll play like a hardcore game. Like we'll play the big boxes games, and then with my other friends who are like more socially inclined, we'll play like the Cards Against Humanity style games, or like the things you don't really have to think about. And there's like this middle group of things which are like on the box they say 45 minutes, but there's like a board and there's pieces and I don't know, I haven't met the right people for that size of board game, because if you go around someone's house you either want to chat or you want to play a board game.
Yeah.
You don't want to like chat, and you can't really chat and have a board game almost. Does that make sense?
No, definitely. It's that whole thing is, if it was too light a board game that enabled you to chat, it's not fulfilling the board game element of it.
Yeah.
It's
a party game almost.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and I think there's a place for those.
But sometimes you want to have a good board game sesh with somebody that also wants to have board game sesh, but you haven't got.
But you might as well go for a bigger game at that point. Or like
there's
I'm really struggling to find where this board game like fits in the world of board games.
When you don't have 12 hours to spare.
Well, no, but like, if I'm going around a friend's house for a night, we're going to have a dinner party, or do something like watch a film maybe, or like play a video game, like a bit of a video game or something.
Yeah,
we're not. That's what I mean. It's struggling here. It's just on the edge of like an hour and a half board game where everyone's got to focus, and then like the moods kind of shift a bit because we went from ha 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 to everyone look at their cards and figure out what their move is, and do you know what I mean? There's something that it's really frustrating. I need to find.
It's like I feel when I play board games at home. It all starts off quite fun. Oh, we've set up the board, we're doing the things, and then by the end of it, I'm just come on, just roll your dice.
You want to move on a bit so that the thing can happen.
With my kids, one of them will go off because they're bored because it's not their turn, and then when it comes around to their turn, they're out of the room, and you're like, "Can you come back in now? It's your turn."
It's like, oh, I forgot what I was doing. It's like, I agree. So that kind of, it was like the other side of board gaming. It was the other side of board gaming.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that I think sometimes people could be put off by board games because of that. And I think there's a middle ground. There must be, I'm trying to find this middle ground, but there's kind of either side of it, as I've said, and there's this middle ground. I can't like grasp or like categorize or figure out the time or the place to do it, one day I'll figure out.
I get that. It's like, I don't, play with the kids and that gets a bit dry sometimes, depending on the situation. But I can remember several times in my life where it's just been some family members that we've just sat down, somebody suggested a board game and we've just played it and it's been a lot of fun. But there never is something that then ends up getting repeated.
I think maybe that's what that is. Maybe I think those board games work when you're with people, but you've almost run out of conversation, right? but you've got time to kill, and rather than sit in front of the telly, let's try a board
Chris,
game.
I imagine those would be perfect for a Christmas kind of situation.
Maybe that is where
you've got a family member over. You're all bored of the television, or there's not,
You want to do something a bit more than you come back from a walk, or you're like, you're up early or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the spot for it. And actually, that's good to think of. I'll consider. And actually, I'd rather sit down and play a board game than.
But then it's that whole thing: is what board games are you going to be buying to fill
for just it's so rare,
just in case you might.
Yeah, no, I think we have a few of those, but like. There's a few I noticed because we had to go through our board game collection because we're renovating the room that has all our board games. I know, so hard.
Room.
So hard.
So hard.
But I was going through it and I was like, we actually haven't played this game. And Jess was like, yeah, we'll get to that. And like, a lot of them are actually from her Kickstarter.
Have you got stuff that's still in shrink wrap, or do you have
No. We look at it. I think we check everything's in there. We look at. I fucking love reading rules. Like I've spoken about before.
You do.
So I've got to read some rules. I don't know.
I think even if you've never played it, you've read the rules.
Yeah. Like I'd actually read the rules to the Cryptic Twisted, and I was like, I know how to play this game. I just refresh myself before playing.
The only thing I could
bizarre,
think anything sad is it was back in the days when video games used to have manuals.
Oh no, that's cool, man.
It's sitting on the bus on the way home, reading the.
No, but like I could.
As a kid, this game's going to be brilliant.
No. As a kid, I remember things like, I'd like, the console would be at home. Yeah. You go into town and you're like, Mum, please, can I get this game? This is the first time I've seen this game, by the way. On this, it's got a pretty cover. That's why I'm like, I want that game.
I want that one.
I've looked at the back, pretty gameplay visuals. Mum, please, and she's like, fine. Woohoo! Absolute win. I've got that game, and I'm in the back of the car.
Yeah.
In that leaflet, looking at things, I'm like, this is going to be the best game ever. And I play it for like 2 hours.
Oh, look at this game! Oh, look at the guns you can. Oh.
And I'll play it for like 5 hours, or maybe I'll play it forever and it'll be the best game ever. But like, sometimes
there is that element of just
it's like so the hype is
Russian roulette of is this going to be any good or absolute.
Sometimes people say that they say this with Kickstarters. I've forgotten who said it specifically, but the pinnacle of your hype is when you've hit buy.
Yeah.
For some things when you've hit buy, oh my god, this is going to turn up. That is like the pinnacle of your excitement for that thing. And then,
if anything, I know full well there's been situations in the past where I've been looking forward to buying something.
Yeah, sometimes the act of buying is more exciting.
Going out and getting, next time I go to game, I'm going to get, this game. I really want to. I've read about it in a magazine or something, and then you've got that build up to it, and that, like you said, it basically plummets the moment you've bought it. The moment that's yours, the potential of it is
the realization
decreased.
You've got to. Yeah. I actually have to play this and like get the experience out of it. Sometimes the idea is way more fun than the actual thing. I don't know what that is. It's so bizarre, isn't it?
Oh God, on the PlayStation 2, there was a real disappointment. I was really excited. I came across it just in a game shop. It was a battleship game. Not as in,
not the actual like board game battleship style.
You basically controlled a battleship through sequence. And I thought, oh my God, I've always wanted to be in control of a battleship. That was a brilliant idea. Oh my God, I've never heard of this game before or since, but I'm going to buy it. And I got it there and then, got the bus journey home, put it in my PlayStation 2, played it for about 5 minutes, and honest to God, it was dog turd.
Yeah.
It was... the controls were awful, the idea was bad, it just didn't feel... And I spent as long as I could on it just to try and justify the excitement that I had of it. And it there was nothing to...
It's quite weird how that happens. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to tangibly figure out what makes me more like that. Does that make sense? What things make me be like, the idea of it is exciting, but the actual execution of it, not so much.
But then there's other things, like it took me a long time to finally get around to buying Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And that exceeded what I was expecting. I played Red Dead 1, loved it, thought it was a great game, beautiful game for its time, and But the time it took me to get around to playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I'd watched a ton of, walkthrough videos and clips and stuff like that, and I was thinking, I'm going to be disappointed when I finally get this because I've seen a lot of it. I've seen more of it than I thought I would. But actually playing it was actually better still.
Oh, that's cool.
Just feeling in control of the things I'd seen, making those decisions. In the same way that Grand Theft Auto has that feeling of, even with the newer ones, that I had when I played Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time, which is this idea of being able to lose yourself in something.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm going to go and jump off that ramp because they put that ramp there. They meant for me to jump over that. Oh, I'm going to have to do that again. I bet I could do it better.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you spent 2 hours on one jump.
Yeah, just trying to get it right. It's like, there's a better car for this. There's a better car. Yeah. No, I get that.
With Red Dead, it was that whole thing. I found myself hunting a bear, I think it was. And then I realised I could hunt the other animals around as well. And I started doing that. Next thing you know, I'm going to have to go to town to get rid of all these furs. And then we come back. And I wanted to go back. I'm not a hunter.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I wouldn't want to do that in real life. But suddenly here I am in this video game.
But at that point, you're just doing a mini game almost. You're not actually playing the main game.
You're not actually playing the game,
Yeah. And maybe that comes back to the whole 5-hour game. If that had just been a game, would you have enjoyed it more?
I don't think I would have done. I think it had...
Because it was unique. in a bigger thing, you've decided, I'm not going to do the main storyline. I'm just going to hunt bears.
Yeah, I need to get some supplies. It's almost role play. Well, it is role play. But I'm saying is that you get into the extreme version of that when the world around that role play is built so well, the mundane things don't affect you.
Yeah, you just feel more like you're just doing the role play, and you're not doing the tedious bits, or you're not doing the epic storyline. You can just I'm the trapper guy, and you go around and just do that.
I'm going to spend my winter months doing this.
Yeah.
Just to get
start building up a story and No, I totally get that. I totally get that vibe. But no, it is interesting how some games do make me feel, or there's definitely, I can't think of one off the top of my head. There's things I bought and I'm so excited, and then it just goes, and you're and it just, something about it makes me feel so sad. But is it sad? Because at the end of the day, I did get the thing, and I paid for the excitement, but not the excitement that I thought I was going to pay for. Does that make sense? It was the real world excitement, wasn't it? It was the real world excitement of going out and buying something and coming home with it. Yeah. You bought some hype almost, rather than the thing. No, that's so true. Anyway, another purchase I bought this week, which was more of a dread thing than an excitement thing.
Okay.
I bought the Horus Heresy 3rd edition rulebook and Libra Astartes rulebook. These books are 400-page plus rulebooks. I know. So I didn't. So I was very lovely. Yeah. I was very lovely. Person gave me some money because I did some stuff for them, and I was just I'm gonna buy these. So I bought them because I was like, I need to play a war game. After playing Twilight Imperium, I was like, I need to play a war game. I was looking at all the other games. I was like, I could play 40k. I don't really want to play 40k because it's quite. I was listening to some friends talking about 40k, and they were going through the numbers of they're doing the statistics on dice rolls, and I was like, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for. And they were like, if you take this upgrade, it's statistically 0.1% better than this, and if you do it this with this, you got a 12% chance of this happening. And I'm like, not for me, not doing that. So I was like, I'm staying away from 40k. Trench Crusade isn't out yet. I really want to get in Trench Crusade. It's not out. I'm also having an issue with my 3D printers to get the models out of that. So I was like, I do have a Heresy army. I might as well just bite the bullet, get the new books, and just see where we're at. They've also got in there, they also had this also just tipped me off the edge. They had Sigismund, who's one of the characters for the Imperial Fists, back in stock. And he's been out of stock for a year. And when I was on the website, I was like, he's in stock. Buy. Just not even so I got him. If you ever read stories about him, he is the coldest guy in the whole of 40k lore. He's not a Primarch. You know a bit now because I've seen you. I've seen you've been reading.
Yeah, I'm still reading.
So he's not the Primarch, but he's the first captain of the Imperial Fists.
There are some Imperial Fists in
Horus Rising.
Yeah.
You got Fafnir Ran, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
I can't remember the names. There's so many names.
There are so many names. But okay, so this guy's the first captain. You might have met some other first captains. Probably going through Khan or Mortarian, not Mortarian.
Tormorus? Axonal?
Typhus. Tycerus.
Little Horace?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the four
of Horace's guys. Yeah. See, this is the first captain, and there's like scenes where like Rogel Dawn the Primarch is like, he's scary. That my first captain, he is such a cold guy. Holy crap! And Rogel Dawn is like famously like the most stoic dude, and he's like saying this about his first cat. Unbelievable. The Siege of Terror. I don't want to spoil too much, but the Siege of Terror, Sigismund's there, just absolutely slaying everyone, and it's unbelievably cool. It's so cool, and it's the build up to him killing oh my god, unbelievable.
So you've got him.
So I've got his model. I had to have it. And
have you made it yet?
No, not yet. I've got some other stuff too. But also there's Fafnir Ran, who's also the Siege of Terror, who's equally a badass. Oh, just thinking back to the story, I remember listening to the stories, and he like, there's a bit where he like, I think he cuts with his shield or his axe like a line in the stone,
right?
And he's like, no one gets past this line, and he's like there for like hours, just like stopping everything from getting past this line. And it's like, because the Imperial Fists are all about the wall and like defending.
They're the siege
masters. Yeah,
that's what they're in. They've been asked to go home to build
to build some stuff. Yeah, that's their kind of thing. Because the Iron Warriors, famously, the Iron Warriors are the siege breakers, and then the Imperial Fists are the siege builders. Builders. So like they're famously against each other. It's like a whole thing. But yeah, so no, I had to get the books, and I got Sigismund because what a guy. And I've been reading them. My god. I love rules. But Jesus Christ, Mark. Jesus Christ. Making an army is the most convoluted, backwards, intuitive thing ever. It took me probably 5 hours just to understand how to build an army. 5 hours to figure out. It probably took me a further 3 hours to then figure out all the points of my units, and then to figure out if my units fit into an army took me like another 4 hours. It was unbelievable. I don't know why they've made it so... Well, actually, I know why they made it so hard. I figured it out. I didn't figure it out. It's pretty obvious. Is they built it so you have to buy more tanks.
So
last edition was definitely about the walkers.
Yeah.
And the walkers were really strong. This edition's about the tanks. They made it so you can have a lot of tanks in your army, and they're not very much points-wise. But clearly, so you go buy like 10 tanks.
The whole idea is that you could build up the size of army that you wanted and
they normally says a point, so like each model has a point.
But I thought the idea was that, say for example you meet your friend and you say let's have a tank battle and you get more tanks and you choose that rather.
It's a bit more. So yeah, you can do it that way. But like if you want to play against someone not on the street, but, if you go to a local game store and you want to, because like you've got to have some convention about how that interaction occurs.
How do you know what characters to bring with you to have a fair fight? Yeah,
absolutely. So they built rules about how you make an army, and in previous editions, it's been pretty straightforward. You just got to bring a captain and 2 line troops units. This one, you've got to, if you bring a captain, then you can bring auxiliary detachments, and auxiliary detachments might be 4 tanks or 1 walker, or it might be 3 heavy assault groups or 1 elite unit, or you can, if you have a super captain, you can bring a veteran group, or unbelievable. And if you take these things that are like primary detachments, you can get an additional unit, but not an attack. It is insane, and it was so insane. I don't know why they've done this, and it's made it so hard. And if you're trying to enter this game, I would say it's almost just don't, because Christ.
Well, the first thing I'm thinking, and this is based on that time I tried to make my own D&D character.
Yeah.
That I got some things wrong because I didn't understand the rules well as I should have done.
Yeah. And actually,
so in a scenario where you go and meet some guy at a Games Workshop to play a game against him.
Yeah.
And you've got something wrong, and you're overpowered or whatever.
Yeah, no, that does.
Is that a point where
that just happens?
Somebody will just say, "No, you've."
People do. So I found that a lot of people will learn the rules inside now, and some people are really like. These are big books, and they know all the rules. And it's really good on them. I don't know how they do it. I guess they play like every weekend, or like every Friday or whatever, which I'd love to do. And I'm trying to look into doing that, but time. I
mean, how long is a... Sorry.
You can have 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours. Okay.
It's a Friday night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
I'd love to do it, but I just got, again, time. So, So people do, and this does happen. And actually, when I went to my tournament earlier this year, there was a lot of rules, like things like morale. I normally just when we play with friends, I just leave out morale because you've got to know how many models were killed that turn, and you've got to roll dice against leaderships and add the amount of models that died, and then maybe those units retreat. And I'm like, let's just not play morale because it's just going to be far easier to ignore because that can get complicated. And there's some like other like no, we do play reactions, but there were some other like little rules. I'm just like, let's not play those. And in my mind, I always go, if I don't understand a rule or I don't understand this mechanic, I don't play it because if I don't understand it, I'm probably going to do it wrong. Yeah. And then I'm going to be either overpowered. I'm going to overpower it or I'm going to underpower it, and then the game's going to feel unfair. So I'd rather ignoring that rule for now. And I've got other friends who would rather do it the other way around. It was like, oh, we'll put that rule in and we'll just do it.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, fair enough, but like, But yeah, some people really know these rules and some people don't. And that is a contentious issue or it's the thing that happens where if you just don't know a rule, you don't know a rule. And like, you've got it wrong. And like, and in competitive scenes, you just got to know all the rules. And there are people who, especially with big tournaments, who will be who do know all the rules, who will come over and they will just tell you, you've got that wrong. This happens like this, blah, blah, blah. So there are,
But is that, in the tournaments and stuff like that, you getting it wrong means you're out of the game, or?
I don't really know. I think things like tournaments, because they're so competitive, I think your enemy or your opponent, it's probably better to say opponent than enemy. Yeah. I think they have a really good idea of what's going on, especially if you're playing competitive. So if you're doing something and they'll also understand all the main army gimmicks, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah, So like if you're doing something weird, they're going to kind of notice, aren't they? So they'll be like, I don't think that's really how that works. And they're like, and normally, they're not saying it in like a malicious way. Normally people just have got something wrong.
Let's get this right.
And they'll call over someone who knows fucking everything. And they'll explain normally. And that's how I assume it goes. But like when I was talking about my friends who were like, if you take this, it's got a 0.1% chance of... They know everything. They know all the math on every single unit. They know... And that's just what they love. That's I think I love reading rules. Those guys love like playing the rules, as in like they like finding the optimal way to play these rules and the optimal way to beat them. And that's not me. I like playing it for the story more. I like to be like my command. I want to have Sigismund on the table, absolutely wrecking your guys because I've read him in the books. He's just so cool, and he's just so stone hard.
Whereas one of your friends would probably go, no, I'm not going to have him. I'm going to have this guy because he's a better.
They do. A lot of people do that, and that's not for me. Yeah. That's just not for me.
No,
and like, I don't mind.
Key,
sometimes I don't mind playing those people because, firstly, otherwise we'd never interact as people and get that engagement. I think it's good to have different engagement with different people. But also, I'll just make my own story. I'd be like, we're under siege. These guys have got overwhelming odds to beat us. It's kind of more like a last stand for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, he's playing competitively. I'm making a story in my head. We're all having fun. I know I'm going to lose. Like, from the minute they put their models on the table, I'm like, I've lost. But it's how I lose and how the story goes.
It's weighted dice.
But it's how the story goes, right? And how
another 12. Oh.
And then that makes it even better because like if one of my units holds against all the odds, right? The dice are just in my favour.
Yeah.
Oh, what a moment! That unit's it's stood there.
It's almost like the reality of the story.
Yeah.
The fact that they held the line.
They held that line. Yeah, and you're like yes, and like. That's what it's about for me.
But they survived, and and you're getting that buzz for real, rather than it being, oh no, we just got trashed.
Yeah, we got trashed. Well, sometimes that does happen, but that's the story.
Yeah, that's the story.
We'll try next time. But yeah, so that was I've got the edition. I'm reading through it. It is so complex. I think I've got an army. I only need to add one model to my army to make it work, which is a miracle. Having read it, I've got to modify 2 models. I've got to modify 2. And then add 1, which is not too bad.
Are you actually physically going to modify them?
Yeah, their guns don't work anymore. Their guns don't exist anymore in the law, in the rules. It's ridiculous, but they don't. So I'm going to modify them to have...
I wonder how you get your fan base to buy more things. Oh, let's stop making the guns work.
In their fairness, there wasn't ever... So sometimes this happens, and it's very surreal, but I think it's more a 30k thing than a 40k thing, is they write rules for things that don't have models. So the gun... exist in the rules, but it didn't exist in the model. So there's kind of like this like unwritten rule for if that's the case, next edition, you're not guaranteed to have that same thing, right?
Yeah.
If there is a model and that model has a gun that's modeled, you can buy it. That's definitely going to be in the next edition.
Yeah.
But if it's like that's not got a model, it is in the rules. It's probably you're not
going to see it.
You may not. It's on the edge. It may not exist next round. So that's just the game you got to play. And I'm fine. It's just 2 models. I'm not too fussed by changing them out. And actually now they've become like
just get some blue tack.
No, it'll be so
and stick it on.
No, I'll change it out. It won't be that hard. It'll be really nice when they're done. They'll look really good. So I should do that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I hope I can get some games in before the end of the year. I mean, those are the timescales we're looking at. We know we're like just heading into November, and I'm like, well, hopefully by the end of December I've had a game or two. So yeah, no, I'm really. So like I said, it's been busy time for me. This has been unusual. So I've been drawing gnomes, Mark.
Okay. Is this for Christmas?
No. So one of my D&D characters, called Night Snatcher, we'll talk about him one day. He's a gnome. And I fleshed out a lot of lore in my head about this character. And then Jess found her granddad's, in like one of her like the storage units, a book. And it's like a book about gnomes, as if gnomes were real and these explorers had found them. And with the classic red pointy hat and like cloak.
Bulbous nose?
Yeah. Beard. Grey beard. Like rotund but like thin legs. And like it just inspired me. I was like, someone's written some deep lore about gnomes. And it's also an old book, so it's kind of it's got some grey areas around it. So I kind of skip over those pages. But so it's really good. It's really inspiring. And I like people don't do enough with gnomes, and it sounds so weird. It sounds so surreal. I know it sounds.
You say that, but I think it might have been the last couple of Christmases. The gnome has come back.
No, but that's not a gnome. That's a gonk.
Oh, come on! It's the same.
No, they're different.
People
school me on this. There are differences, and I kind of agree. The garden gnome is the one I think of. The classic garden gnome with the fishing rod.
Yeah,
and I think there's some stories to be told there. In that. I don't know how to describe it more than that. It sounds so surreal. So I like there's some stories to be told. So I want to be able to like draw these gnomes. So I've been like in the evening I've been drawing 1 or 2 gnomes from this book. And let me tell you, some of them are jank as hell. Some of them are really good though. And I'm actually like impressed with myself. Like they're getting better. I've been doing it you look like I've just gone mad.
Fucking hell.
Mark, work with me here.
I mean, I've just listened to 20 minutes of you going on about Warhammer 40k, and somehow the gnomes is top trumping that, Drew. Come on.
We're going to get weirder maybe at the end. I think we're ramping into some existentialism here, by the way, so strap in.
Right.
No, but okay, this will go into my last point. This will go into my last point, okay?
I hope so. It's got to land somewhere.
Gnomes are cool, right?
Cool are they now? Gnomes are cool.
They are cool. Okay. Shut up. They're cool. They're not cool. What are you about? What isn't cool about a gnome? What isn't cool about a gnome?
What, hanging out in a garden with a fishing rod?
Yeah, well, your shallow-minded view of gnomes. Racist.
You say that, and then, no, I haven't seen it. Romeo and Juliet?
No, I've seen it.
You've seen
Again,
it.
That's a shallow portrayal of
Shallow portrayal.
It's just weak. Okay, Mark, it's just weak stereotypes.
Taking the classics and turning them into a gnome-themed story.
It's just stereotyping a great Gnomes? People. Yeah, Sherlock Gnomes. That's the second one. But there's something about gnomes. Warcraft, I think, does them injustice as well. In the Warcraft universe, there are gnomes, but they're more like tinkerers. Boring. They're like, it's the whimsy, right? There's something about the whimsiness, and it rolls back into this time of year. It's the gnome that's in the house that is a tree playing poker with the owl and the mole, or the like gnomes that's gone with its napkin, its red and white checkered napkin to go get honey. Bit very very Winnie the Pooh vibe. You know what I mean?
If anybody finds this recording, just know that I don't know what happened. Drew's just going on about gnomes for some reason.
Gnomes are cool, okay? Gnomes are cool. I don't know what's wrong with gnomes.
Okay.
Whatever. I think they've got an air of whimsy that I relate to heavily. And so anyway, so I've been drawing.
You've been drawing gnomes. Yeah, I got that drawing.
And this comes into my last point.
Oh, really? Strap in, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think this is crazy. I don't think this is actually this crazy. So I've been watching. So as we all do in this modern age, I've been watching a lot of Instagrams before bed. The old reels, yes. as we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't be doing it. But a lot of what came up
were gnomes.
No, not enough, Mark. That's the problem. There's not enough gnomes. No, was people who had made very short animations and very short edits of some images, and they all were really beautiful. And I went, wow, that's beautiful. And I was like, that's fantastic. Or this edit looks really good. Or you've evoked a lot of emotion in me, and this is very beautiful what's happened here. And I thought to myself, have I ever created anything beautiful? And Mark, kids, before you say it, kids are a cop-out.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
But I thought to myself, have I...
Russian roulette in that.
Have I ever... Wow, I just heard what you said. Jesus Christ.
What I mean is, it's not a creative choice, is it?
No. It's not intentional creation, but people would say, oh, my kids, it's the most beautiful.
They're beautiful. They are beautiful.
That's not what I mean. Yes. So that can get in the bin.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so I was thinking, have I created anything beautiful in my life? Has anything I've made invoked an emotion in someone that is like, wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. Or like, oh my gosh, what a beautiful thing to see. And I don't think so. And I think that's really, in some ways, shook me. Because a lot of what I do in my life, and I'm sure you know, is very technical, but it's really boring to the outside world. And what we do for work is exciting, but it's not beautiful. And it's also not me doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not my...
Your element is adding code to something.
Yeah. Or even just but even the things like we produce as a team.
Well, what about your Warhammer painting?
But then, it looks... I think it looks nice. It looks cool. It looks cool. No one's describing it as beautiful, I think.
I mean, I haven't seen all of your stuff, but there are some models I've seen, back in the days when I used to look at White Dwarf magazine and W.H. Smith's. But just going through some of them, they are beautiful. There are people that have refined that model making and painting skill to a point where you could say it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And a
lot of the time it's just another space marine or whatever. Yeah. But when you get
there's a lot of diorama people. Yeah, who'll do the little diorama and they'll have normally just 2 or 3 main characters or focuses. Yeah. And I think that stuff is beautiful, but sometimes there's not an emotion behind it,
Yeah, well, no, but at the same time, I have seen, and I'm not... My dad was is a railway nerd, right? Mm. And he does model railways, and he's really passionate about what the areas he's into. And through him, I have been to many railway exhibitions and seen countless, set railway layouts. And I have seen some that are modelled so well that I would say they were beautiful. There are some that are just like a group of people getting together and just churning out something because they want to run some prints. Yeah. But there are other ones which, especially usually the ones that are, within a metre square.
Short format. I think there's something about that smaller detail, a lot of focus on the ideas.
The way that they create an illusion to give distance to the horizon and things like that, absolutely stunning. So I think you can look at things outside of, going to an art gallery and seeing a painting. Yeah. And calling it beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that you need to look at a movie or look at a painting on a wall. I think some things even I'd go as far as saying, even just an event. I don't know how to describe better than that, but a gathering of people to do a thing could be described as this is a beautiful thing that's occurred, and so you've made a beautiful thing in that respect. But I don't think I have. And I'm sure some friend will come out of the woodwork and be like, oh, I thought this was really beautiful. That's not what I mean. I want people, as soon as they see it, to be like, Wodry, that's beautiful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that too selfish to even suggest that one could do this?
Yeah, no, I think it's a valid...
I think it's a task I'd love to achieve in my life.
I have done a couple of things that I am proud of in terms of art in my time.
Oh, there's no doubt. I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying nothing I've done is proud.
I'm sorry, it's just a framing.
Yeah.
But there is a definite feeling for me that I want to do more. And I've never, at the moment, I just don't have much of an outlay for it. That's why I jumped on drawing my D&D character, because it was an opportunity to
express some creative outlet,
get something out there. And I definitely would like, I understand that ambition, and sometimes just being able to just whatever it is, taking it in with the goal of it being something beautiful. I think that's definitely, a worthy goal. I
think it's a worthy goal. Yeah, and it really struck me as like, I don't know. It just really struck me as a thing that like, I almost thought like I would have done it by now by mistake, or like it would have just happened. There must have been something I'd have generated in my near 30 years that people were like, "Whoa, that's beautiful."
Yeah,
and maybe that hasn't. I've forgotten it, but like I don't think so. There's nothing in my mind I can think of be like, that was a thing that was like really fantastic, and I was really proud of, and that invoked emotion in other people, and that meant a lot to me. I don't think there's been anything that I've done thus far. So it made me think, and I think drawing gnomes is maybe in that group of like, I want to express more types of art to see what I can achieve, and then see if I can create a story or like an emotional, invoke an emotion with some other mediums, because I do enjoy my Warhammer, but it is that painting style is more technical. And I think to compose the story in that is a bit harder, and that's a different skill that I don't have.
I think, that was one thing that, what was that chap you showed me, his video of...
Is it Boiler Hobby Time? Was it that one? Did he do Wild Imaginary West?
He did that little house with a cannon out the front of it.
Oh, yeah, miscast.
But he, watching some of his other videos, even though he was painting the generic Warhammer figures, his style was artistic, was creative, because it didn't rely on the standard, tutorial of how to paint a space.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, and then you do the dry brush, then you do the... No,
highlighting and, because it's, like you said, it's a technique that somebody can learn how to do to achieve a result. It's not necessarily sparking an emotion.
Me and my friend jokingly say, it's just 3D colouring in Warhammer. Which it really is.
Yeah. And that is, I find it bizarre that has grown as an industry. Adult colouring books, where you're actually getting a paint set and doing it.
I kind of get it, because like sometimes you just want to do an almost methodical task just for fun, but that's not a creative outlet.
It's not creative. I get the process of doing it. That's calming. It's zen.
Yeah, it's like building Lego. Doing some instructions and just following it and not think about anything else is very zen.
There was a time when I was younger that it was all about the creation. And I'd build the model once, and then I'd take it apart and add it to my pile of Lego. But as an adult, the times I've built Lego, I've appreciated following the instruction. And
it is weird.
I feel like I've become Will Ferrell's character in the Lego movie.
I have as well.
I want the thing.
This is so true. Because actually I've got 2 sets of Lego in my life, or 2 piles of Lego. I've got the Lego that I got as an adult, which is the completed model sitting on a shelf. Done. Yeah. And then I have my childhood Lego, which is all broken, and it says this is a lot about humanity, I think. It's all broken up in a under-bed tray.
That's where ours is. It's under my Lego set is combined with my children's Lego sets under their beds now.
But like, when you're a kid, you're like, I built the thing, now to make my own thing.
Yeah.
And like, the creativeness is like so much different. It's almost like therapy here, Mark. But like, it's the thing about it, like, when I was a kid, I build the thing, I'm like, cool, I'm playing with this for a bit, and like, cool, now I'm going to make it my own thing. I'm going to build my own truck thing. And like, I'd spend hours like rebuilding to make it my own truck. But like, as an adult, I'm like, I have built the set and then put it on the shelf, and then there it is.
Is it also, and I've wondered this with Lego, is that the designs that come from Lego themselves now, especially with the adult Lego fans now, is that they are far more detailed and more accurate to what it is they're trying to represent.
Yeah, no, I agree. Those old sets that are like the Lego City and like more the themes, where they're definitely meant to be taken apart and built, feel like less and less common, and they're like, this is a model, like a statue you'd have on your shelf that is just made out of Lego.
And there's more and more parts that are like, not taking away people, really creative people that can use these things. Oh yeah, some people do amazing stuff. But there are some parts that are very quite, this is for this, and this will only be for this. Apart from those people that really
know what they're doing,
the limits.
Yeah.
Really, and it's like for me when I was a child, there was my earlier Lego sets was just bricks. Yeah, there was a lot of that in my Lego. You don't get many just bricks now for building. You
get a lot of plates and a lot of things that then angle those plates.
The snot plates and the technic bits used in non-technic Lego sets just to build up the structure. And there's nothing wrong with that. I still enjoy the process of building Lego. My daughter got a plane for her birthday, an ambulance plane, and I helped her with it. I tried to get her to do most of it, but there were times when there was tricky bits that she needed my help, and it felt really nice. It still felt like the same toy that I had when I was a child. But then there are times I've seen more adult sets, and you watch them being built, and it's very technical, more technical than Technic Lego. Yeah. In fact, if anything, I find Technic Lego sets seem a little bit disappointing nowadays. When you see the models of them,
they're not as technical in a sense.
I think there's a need for it to go really hardcore on what they are. Maybe I just can't afford the. I think there was a crane set once.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean there. I do know what you mean. I think it's really interesting actually thinking back about how that's changed my life. But again, circling right back, people make beautiful things in Lego, and I've looked at some Lego things and I'm like, damn, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
and like, I realise that I'm not going to get to this goal, to this lofty goal, in a day. I realise it's not going to be by the end of the year. I initially when I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, by the end of the year I'll do this. But like, I'm like, not really, because I think to create something of substance and meaning and something that's going to evoke emotion is going to take a lot of thinking about, and a lot of prep, and a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot in some capacity. And I still didn't even know what it's going to look like in the end. But I'm starting by drawing gnomes.
Yeah. Gnomes. No. I mean, are we going hardcore realism here, or are they cartoon?
No, I think there's just something. They're definitely like a watercolor vibe. Is from the book, but like I want. I don't know what it is, but in my mind, gnomes are the starting point to creating something beautiful. And isn't that just so surreal?
Yeah, I mean, definitely surreal. I wasn't expecting today's podcast to include gnomes, let alone beautiful gnomes.
Beautiful gnomes.
The beautifulest gnomes.
Well, I think there's a lot of stories. I think this is the thing as well. Oh gosh, it's like a therapy session at this point. Yeah. When I was a kid, definitely I could create a lot more imaginative stories in my head. And I think as life has gone on, my brain capacity has just turned to like, got to do that for work, or like, got to get this life sorted, and not as much of the being bored and making up ideas in my head.
Well, it's having that time to actually explore where that takes you as well.
And being bored, I think being bored does a lot for the creativity. And I think it's crazy that like, I don't feel like I've been bored.
Yeah. Well, for me, when I was a kid, you get to a point when you're bored, and the next thing I know, I've siphoned off a real ream of my dad's white paper, which he used to really get mad at, and I'll just sit in the lounge, and I would fold paper, make planes, make all kinds of things, make bases, all kinds of different things that was just white A4 paper that I created a whole world and thing out of. But again, that was led from getting to the point of being bored that, okay, I'm going to forget the paper. That's how low things have gone. Mum's not buying me a video this week. Yeah. I'm going to have to, get to the worst points. But then that was the times I made something.
No, I agree. No, it's very interesting. So yes, going back to it, that's the lofty goal. And I think that's kind of really where I'm sort of round out my week.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on there. But I think, some interesting stuff. I think I definitely want to do Warhammer. There's a big itch. I think playing that game of...
But is that the kind of thing that could end up sucking that time up that could be spent doing something more creative?
I think a bit of both. I think it's scratching that colouring in bit, right? It's definitely scratching that bit.
The repetitive...
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing.
It's kind of... It's definitely 100% meditative. The more I think about it, doing that is meditative, and it's great. It's good to just like zone out in that respect. But there's definitely also this other thing of I want to be creative and I want to do something more and bigger. No. I guess it is kind of bigger, but it's like I don't want to do it on a big scale. I want to do it small, but bigger.
But make more of it.
More of it, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think that's
what
I
respect that. I think, you should definitely, where you've got time.
When you've got time, it's so true.
Yeah, it's always going to be that thing.
So should we look kind of ending it there, perhaps?
Yeah.
Should we look at next week?
Yes.
So, Mark, my homework for you.
Okay.
If you can create something beautiful.
What?
No, I'm joking.
I was going to say, you're giving yourself a lot of leeway and then instantly in a week.
Because we haven't had an audio essay, as we like to call it, at the end of this episode. This is just a catch-up. Maybe it's about gnomes. Yeah, maybe it's from this. I was going to say, I would like you for next week, if you can think of a character development that... I think I'll talk about character development next week, because I think it's a huge thing that I think a lot of people get wrong, or a lot of things get wrong in my mind, or they call it character development, and it's not. We'll talk about it next week. But a character you think has had great character development, and why you think they've had good character development. And I'm going to come in with some good character development and a few things. And I'll probably send you a video on why, if that makes sense, or some stuff.
That sounds fun.
Because, I think a lot of people get this wrong, and I think it'd be really good to explore when it's done right, and why it's better when it's done right.
I'm trying to think through now. There's lots of characters that I feel like... Is it character development, would you say, when somebody hits rock bottom because they've been pushed so far?
I think character development is when a character has fundamentally changed, and how they act or interact or behave is... I'd say in the best way, it's not recognisable from the first character they were. But I think in other... we'll talk about this next week, but I think the worst is when at the very end the bad guy sees the light and is like at the last minute changes his mind. That's not character development.
And it helps the plot development.
That's
when it becomes for plot development. It's the only
I don't get that too much this week. Sorry. That's fine, but
okay.
Yes. So if you could do that for me, please. If you could think about a character you think has had good character development.
I will have a good dwell on that subject. That's interesting. A few characters have popped into my head already.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have something for me? You don't have to have something for me now, but if you have something that, then the listener can go away and ponder themselves.
I've got my list. Ooh, what have we got here? Ooh.
If it's just a little task for me to do, an old film perhaps.
Yes.
If there's something that you want me to just watch.
In fact, I'm going to do it because it's Halloween.
Gremlins.
Yes.
Oh.
Because I know I was having a conversation with Joe at work about Gremlins because he hasn't seen it.
Okay.
And
maybe I'll invite him around and we can watch it together.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah. If you're listening, Joe. That's the Gremlins thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Joe doesn't listen to this podcast, I'm almost certain.
No, he doesn't.
I've looked at the analytics. No one listens to this podcast.
But yeah, Gremlins, it's Halloween coming up, and it's a scary film that... Well, scary. Is
it kid scary?
Not kid scary. It was an early 15 rated film.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's scary in weird ways.
Yeah. Was it 50? Yeah, it was. It was a film I remember seeing like when I was 12 or whatever, whenever it came out. It would have been that sort of age, maybe even younger. And I love it. So
cool. No, watch it. That's good. I do enjoy this.
To recognise the passing of Halloween.
I really enjoy these. It's really good to go back and see old films and things I would not normally see. So I'm really... Thank you, I guess, in just things. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Mark, and goodbye.
Toodle pip, everybody.